It's cold outside, Peggy Burton.
I know, I'm dressed for it.
I see you.
I woke up and decided
You're pretty
I
in
was
pink.
going into
Is
the
that
Arctic.
pink?
I don't know.
It's pretty
I'm
color.
colorblind. I can't tell.
Well, on our monitor right here, it looks like
Yeah.
blue, but that's not what it looks like at your
But
house,
it
I
is
don't think.
cold out there.
It's very cold out there. It was, what, 9 degrees last night?
I think so.
7?
I think so.
I think it's going to be a couple of degrees warmer tonight. Of course, we're filming this on Tuesday morning, so
So it
you know,
may
if
be
you see it tonight on the stream or on the show on your TV, it's going to be cold tonight. I think it's going to go down to 8, and then it's going to warm up, and we're going to be in the 40s.
Well, it certainly took the inauguration indoors, which I thought was smart.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I saw no reason for it to be out in the freezing cold.
I wouldn't think so. Not when you got heat.
I know, yeah.
It's crazy. And then last night, Ohio State beat Notre Dame in a very exciting football game. And so Ohio State is now the national college football champion.
Good for them.
Yeah, good game, good game, and everything else is like trying to stay warm, keep your water dripping. Keep everything from freezing. Do everything you can do. I was talking to a little girl at therapy yesterday, and she said, well, my water bill, I live out in the county, and my water bill's too high. And I said, you don't know what high is until your pipes bust and your house is 6 inches deep in water.
I am very blessed. Never have I had that happen in my house because everything's underground.
Right.
Way under, you know, and I have let my water drip, but I don't always. But I always check it every morning when it's this cold.
Yeah, because when it's
it's
zero
always it's running.
or below zero, somewhere it has to come up. It has to come out of that ground.
My house was built by my husband's brother, who was a fabulous engineer.
Right.
And this house is old. You know, it was built in the '60s, but it's very solid. And
Oh yeah.
And my pipes haven't broken. The only ones that broke or exploded, whatever, was pool house.
Right. Oh, of course.
And that was.
They're out there.
I didn't even think about it, you know.
Well, of course not, and you know you don't spend the money to insulate a pool house.
Yeah.
Because you're only out there in the summertime.
But it's insulated now, and the pipes are drained every year. I didn't know to drain the pipes. I thought, well, you know, it'll be okay.
Well, it's really important, you know, because adding another $5 or $10 to your water bill is nothing compared to
Exactly.
redoing your whole house and dealing with
Excuse me.
insurance and claims and then you finish getting your claim done and then you get a thing in the mail a month later, they cancel your insurance because you had a water leak.
Because you had a water leak.
You know, and I'm going, well, what was the insurance for? It was for water leak.
Yeah.
For water.
So you
But,
weren't,
you know, that's the way
supposed
that
to ever
stuff
have
goes.
it.
I don't know, and I'm remiss in the fact that I just didn't go to the Martin Luther King thing yesterday morning because I was too cold.
It was too cold.
It was
And
way
I
too
I hope
cold.
it went well, and you know, I'm proud there's always a day to honor Martin
Right,
Luther King,
right.
because what a great man, and he did for our country.
Oh, heavens yes,
Yeah.
heavens yes. And his daughter, who is also a doctor, was at the coin toss of the football game last
Oh,
night.
really?
Yeah, she was honored,
How great.
as was he. So, yeah, a lot of things went on. You had the inauguration, Martin Luther King Day, and national championship.
Yeah, lots of
Yesterday.
things.
That's a
Lots
bunch
of
of
things
stuff.
went on. Yeah.
Bunch of stuff. And I think I heard somebody say that Vice President Vance had told President Trump, because he is a big Notre Dame fan, that he was going to have to skip out on the inauguration.
To go to the
Well,
game.
well, that's what somebody said
Yeah.
online. You know, I'm sure the Vice President, he's
No.
got to take an oath too, you know.
Right.
Because
Oh.
if anything happens, he's the next one in line.
And he's a good age for it to fall back on if
Oh,
he
yeah,
has
for
to,
sure, for
because
sure.
he has a nice family, and they seem to be very bright, and Anyway, it was a big deal, and I thought it went well, and I was so proud of
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood. Yes, she went. I kept saying to myself, "Come on, Carrie, you can do it. Sing a cappella." You know, I knew they were messed up backstage or whatever.
Yeah, they lost her tracks.
And she nailed it. It was beautiful, and I frankly think it was probably better without the track.
Oh, sure.
I thought it was great. Anyway, I was proud of her. It was neat that she was invited to do that.
You know, and that's like, and every time I see her, I just get chills. And I've mentioned this numerous times, and I will never stop mentioning it. If you haven't heard Zenobia McGee sing the national anthem, you find a way to hear it.
Listen.
It is the most beautiful rendition that I've
Those
ever heard.
McGees have some fantastic talents.
But she sings that song slow enough to where you get to reflect on every word in that song.
She's a real talent.
She is absolutely it's amazing, and somebody in the National Football League or somewhere needs to find out about her and get her on a football field.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's a fantastic
Plus,
lady.
she's a wonderful person.
Oh, she is as well. She is. Well, I tell you what, I brought a couple of things here. I want, of course, this is my Loku book here, and it's a book that I've written of short subjects, short things that are interesting. It's a rear-titled collection, and it's it's sort of like a word puzzle, but it's I just did it. There's 365 of them. 366, one for every day of the year. And I just wrote down the first thing I thought of in the morning when I got out of bed.
Right.
Here's some of them.
Do you have a January number? I mean, do you have the dates on these pieces that you write?
Here's one for the people want to tell you what to do, don't they? Everybody wants you to do. Now, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, I know, right.
Pundits strive to lecture from lofty towers, climbing over each other to grab the brass ring. I refuse to take my dreams and put them on a shelf. So take that sermon meant for me and preach it to yourself.
To yourself. I like that.
And then let's see here. I've been involved in diversity. Seems like ever since I was the first year of integration was my sophomore year in high school. And when I grew up, I never paid any attention much to. Of course, I was born in Oak Ridge. And there were people from all over the world in Oak Ridge. Then we came to Tullahoma. And there were people from all over the world coming to Tullahoma. So I've always lived in a diverse society.
Right.
But this is one I wrote that touches on that just a little bit.
Good.
If each of us could follow the path we choose, and our talents and the contributions we make were received and rewarded equally, the workspace might be more palatable if everyone was sitting at the same size desk.
Interesting, yeah.
Let's reward everybody for what they do, not who they are. Many were bought, many sold, many died. Being owned breeds the desire to survive. Then the gift of a voice without fear did ring, and now stands on the shoulders of Dr. Martin Luther King.
What a speech he made.
Oh, man. in reading a lot, I read a lot of history, and the word nobility is used a lot.
Yeah.
And way back in history, nobility really was not a characteristic, but a title.
Right.
But what nobility is a characteristic.
It's a characteristic. So is that what you wrote about?
That's not what I said. No, that's not the one. That's probably a pretty good one, too. Yeah, I'll read that anyway, because you had sisters.
I had a sister.
A sister. That's not what I said. That's not what I meant. You didn't call me back. You're late. I'm not going to argue. Then why are you? I love you. I love you too. Sisters.
Yeah.
Now,
I remember when my sister and I had our last fight. She came home from college, and we were cleaning the living room, and we started arguing about something, and then we got hysterical. And we never argued again.
Isn't that wonderful?
Ever. Yes, it was.
all right, here's about nobility. Some in the pantry, seeing that all the silver shines. Some in the bathrooms, cleaning royal left-behinds. From those anointed, entitled from birth, as some earn respect from a life's hard work. So which ones should be actually called noble?
Good point.
So think about that. It's not who you are, but what you do.
It fascinates me, these lokus that you write.
Huh?
It fascinates me that you just got the inspiration from learning about haiku,
Right.
that, hey, there's another
Well, I just made
thing.
up
I know
another
you made.
form.
I know you made it up, but somebody made up the other one.
Another one. Yeah,
Right,
somebody. Now here's a song that's talking about that we're going to talk about diversity, and we've got on the show today we've got some clips from Darius Wallace.
I love Darius Wallace.
Fantastic young black actor that's come to Tullahoma numerous times.
We need to have him back.
But I was watching a football game. Imagine that, and there was a black gentleman doing an ad on diversity, and he was a big, thick-chested, white beard, a wonderful voice. I don't know whether he was an ex-football player or an actor, but his hook line is, no matter what happens, no matter what we achieve, we've got to keep moving the sticks.
Yeah.
And so I wrote that, and it's a really good song, and I'm trying to get it placed properly. But the first line and the last line of this song is something that we are struggling with, not just in the United States of America, but all over the world. Put love back in where hate has been. Keep moving the sticks. Use every link in the chain. You don't win with 1 1st and 10, so line up and try again. No matter the gain, more still remains. There's so much to be fixed. It's up to you. Do all you can do to keep on moving the sticks. America's not perfect, just trying to be the best. Yet some old beliefs still lay heavy on the chest. It's not only about color and those with different views. So search deep and see, because it just might be about me and you. Keep moving the sticks. Use every link in the chain. You don't win with 1 1st and 10, so line up and try again. No matter the gain, more still remains. There's so much to be fixed. It's up to you. Do all you can do to keep moving the sticks. The powerful profit on pain. As far as we look back, the check of change is written again, but never can be cash. We laugh with no joy. Tears don't ease the pain. The promise is just noise backed up with disdain. How can we be equal, all fighting diversity? Mr. Big Bucks Man may own the band, but the dance belongs to you and me, and together we can set each other free. So keep moving the sticks. Use every link in the chain. You don't win with 1 1st and 10. So line up and try again. No matter the gain, more still remains. There's so much to be fixed. It's up to you. Do all you can do to keep on moving the sticks. Put love back in where hate has been.
That's good. That is very
Keep
good.
moving the sticks, and we'll keep moving this show. We'll be back after these messages.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
People in Tennessee are starting a movement.
Ouch. Thank you.
To clean up the litter on our roadways. Litter hurts our environment and endangers wildlife, and it affects our quality of life.
Here, grab me. Thank you.
Help keep our state litter-free.
Let's roll!
Visit NobodyTrashesTennessee.com and be part of the solution to end littering.
Saving the best for last.
That's right! Nobody trashes Tennessee!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud today to have our city administrator on with us, Mr. Jason Quick. And, you know, he's such a busy guy. Well, you know, there's a lot going on since you've been in that position, what, a year?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half. Mm-hmm. Went through an election cycle, mm-hmm. and just about everybody disappeared. Mm-hmm. And so the learning curve happens all over again, mm-hmm. to a certain extent, because you're dealing with different people with different points of view.
Correct.
But you've survived.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
And I think that we as a voting public mm-hmm. Seem to be pleased with the way things are moving.
You know, I hear that a lot, and all that praise needs to go to all of our people at City Hall and all of our departments. We have some outstanding people that work for Tullahoma. Long-time employees that are committed to making sure Tullahoma looks the best it can look and operates the best it can. And I'm really just fortunate enough to be the person that gets to go out and sing their praises to everybody. But things are going well, it seems.
Well, and we can thank, I think we can thank the voting public on that too as well. It's hard for your people, and I'll sing praises. I mean, when it's 9 degrees and you go out and there's a utility guy standing in a ditch two feet deep in water, and he's up to his chest in mud, those folks, you can't say enough for them.
No, you can't. And we have, give you an example, we had the snow and all that came a couple of Fridays ago.
Right.
And we had our full crew for Public Works out there working. We were able to cover over 3/4 of our garbage route that day. And did all of our recycling and able to take care of the streets and flawless. And I attribute that to the culture that Butch Taylor has put together and created over there, that everybody just shows up, knows what they've got to do, and they get it done.
Well, and the thing about it is now with our new board, we had a little trouble with the board before that about aldermen showing up at different places and started giving orders to people about what they needed to do. And that's not their job. That's your job. And now that all of that has gone away and you can do your job properly, things with the board and with the town seem to be going quite well. And I live on Avoca Road, and last time we had snow, they went down Riley Creek Road, but they didn't go down Avoca Road. And that's,
right.
That's like that to my house. But this time I was pleasantly surprised. Usually my driveway is the worst thing to get out of there is.
I hear you.
And by the time we get to Autumn Lane, everything's pretty good. This time it was just like there was no event.
It was. So. We had one issue, and it was right around your area where we had a recycling truck that slid off into a ditch, but we were able to get a backhoe out there, get it out, and get it right back going in a short amount of time. So again, we're very fortunate. The City of Tullahoma has been blessed with some outstanding workers and outstanding department heads, and I continue to work with them and praise them and basically find out what they need from the city in order to do their job to the best of their ability. And we've got a good thing going. We're very happy, very happy.
Well, and one of the things I see, a lot of people might not watch the board meetings. A lot of people do. One thing I see is we're doing a very good job of finding grant money, finding funding other than tax dollars to help pay for some of these things that are very important for us to get, like pieces of equipment for the police department, the fire department. I think you said you had a truck break down.
We did. On
the one of the snow trucks.
Right.
So, there's always expense in just like running your household. It's just city by, how many homes do we have in Tullahoma?
Quite a few.
Several thousand.
Yes, exactly.
Several thousand homes, yeah. So what's new? It's a new year.
Yeah.
It's not going to be cold forever.
No, sir.
Spring's going to spring. And there's got to be new stuff that's happening. Can you give, and I know sometimes when we are dealing with businesses, they can't let the cat out of the bag until everything is signed, sealed, delivered and all that.
Right.
But there are some things that maybe you can share with us about things that are a future forecast on some stuff.
Great. So, one of the things that we had last Friday, we had the legislative breakfast, which allowed a lot of community leaders, utility leaders, Duck River, TUA, THA, and several, who were able to meet with Rush Bricken and with Janice Bowling. And Janice said something that made a lot of sense as far as the growth of Tullahoma. And we've talked about quality growth, strategic growth, but sustainable. And when she said that word, that really hit home for me. And when it comes to sustainable, one of the things that we've heard from quite loudly from a lot of our residents is we don't want to be the next Murfreesboro. And I agree. I don't want to be the next Murfreesboro. I want to be the one and only Tullahoma. But part of that has to do with some of our traffic and some of our roads and whatnot. So what you're going to see in 2025, we're going to be looking to do as much as we can with paving. Just had a meeting with Butch Taylor. We will be paving from Jackson Street, West Lincoln, down to Cedar Lane. It's not going to be just a patch job, but we're going to come in, we're going to mill up the road and put a brand new pavement down there. As soon as the asphalt plants crank back up, once it gets a little bit warmer. But that's an example of what we're looking to do. Same thing with William Northern. We're about ready to pave that once those asphalt companies crank up. But I think what we're looking to do is we want to try to make sure we're taking care of our roads and we're creating better access for all of our people to get around. For an example, a couple of months ago, at the corner of Kings Lane and Country Club, the city bought the house that was for sale.
Right.
And what we're looking to do is create some turning lanes and some yield lanes that will allow traffic to flow very easily. You know, there's no traffic light there, so if you get behind somebody looking to take a left onto Country Club going towards Short Springs, you can sit there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But then also the same thing when it comes to school traffic, people trying to get from get to the two schools. So we're looking forward to that. We're having it surveyed right now, and we have our fingers crossed that we'll get this done during the summertime after school's over. And it's something we can do internally, so we're on our own clock versus waiting for somebody else. So looking forward to those projects. Have a few others that we're looking at. You know, I wish there were larger projects we could do as far as widening. A lot of that has to do with TDOT, and when you start dealing with government levels, the grant money and whatnot, the bureaucracy, it takes a long time, 15 years for Wilson Avenue to finally take shape. So that's one thing you can look for. Another thing that you talked about is if you were to talk to Winston Brooks, our TAEDC director, we do have a lot of interest right now in Tullahoma from businesses looking to relocate. The challenge is where are we going to put them? And so one of the things that we're trying to do with our developers and those that show interest is make sure they understand that Jackson Street is Highway 41. Now, that means really Jackson Street starts from one city limit to the other city limit.
Sure.
And so it expands past Lowe's all the way to Moore County's line. And then also it expands past the viaduct all the way out there to where the correction facility is.
Right.
So we're trying to get other developers to look at the vision of we can make Jackson Street longer, and you just got to be able to embrace the fact that you're going to be at the end of Jackson Street and not in the middle. There's only so many places in the middle, and right now they're all full.
Well, you know, I know there was a lady who had a business right down the street down here for several years, and she moved and went away, went out to Texas or somewhere, you know, to get the sun or whatever. And she moved back, and I think she ended up going past the movie theater in one of those buildings on the right side, across, out there, because there's a lot of those little threeplex buildings being built out that way, and that's just showing you, you know, here's somebody who's a veteran business owner. Did not mind going out there because she saw the forecast. She could see what's going to happen, because when you put 1,000 homes across the street out there.
Yeah,
I believe that's where I'd want to be.
I think you're right. So mentioning that, we have a center kind of like what you're talking that's being developed right now out off Flowertown Road and Highway 41 that's continuing to take shape. I think the developer already has the spaces leased out, so that is very encouraging. One of the other things, John, that we're going to be looking at doing is continue to focus our efforts on downtown. What can we do to bring downtown vibrancy back and try to support all of our local businesses down there? That's really important to us, not only because of where City Hall is located, but because we have some outstanding people down there with some great businesses. Whenever I think of downtown, I think of Florence and Clayton Shoes and have those memories of a child, you know, going there and buying shoes. But we have several of those, so we want to continue to focus on what can we do to bring downtown back to a level of excitement and vibrancy, and you know, show that it's not just the mall, that there are other places that they could shop local as well.
You know, I did a lot of work in Brentwood and Franklin, and I would go through Nolensville.
Yes, sir.
And I watched $1 store at a time from Tullahoma all the way to Nashville.
Yes, sir.
Dollar store, and in between the dollar stores, all of a sudden farms disappeared. Nolensville, you know, there was a bunch of barns there in the middle of town, and a beautiful veterinarian's house, and a couple of things. Now you've got houses, apartments over store buildings. Somebody came in there and bought all that. Now, to me, you know, I know at one point we had some money earmarked for Atlantic Street. The Atlantic, that's it. That's the one I'm thinking about,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? Right there coming in from Arnold Center.
Yes, sir.
Down there at the
Carroll Street.
Duckworth building down there.
You talking about Carroll Street or
No.
Duckworth building? All right, you're losing me there for a
Come
minute.
in from Arnold Center, just go straight.
Yes, that would be East Carroll, wouldn't it?
No. Carroll
Or not
Street.
Carroll Street, Anderson Street.
Anderson,
I'm
not
sorry, Anderson
Atlantic,
Street.
Anderson Street.
We're both wrong. Anderson Street. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, those pieces of property right there that need to be consumed and turned and reimagined.
Yes, sir.
And we have a beautiful piece of property right there on that corner that something needs to be going. You know, why in the world wouldn't we want to put something? And it might be 3 stories right there, and go up in the air with some apartments we need. When I had Mike Dent from the center on with me, one of the things that they're looking at, they're bringing in 150, 200 engineers into town. No daycare. Somebody want to make a fortune? Open you up, buy one of these roller rink looking buildings, and put you a daycare center in it, and I'll guarantee you. And not saying anything against the people who have daycare in this town. There's just not enough of
There's
them.
not enough spots. So if you were to talk to the leadership out at the base, not only the most recent commander, but the current commander, Mizell, that is the #1 challenge that they have is childcare. Now, I know there are plans for a childcare center on the drawing board right now to be across from Tullahoma Funeral Home, or not Tullahoma, Kilgore Funeral Home, right there at the corner of Waldendorf Highway. I know they're working on trying to get that done. But daycare definitely is one of the biggest issues. And then, you know, you always go back to affordable family housing and then what does that look like and how do we make that happen?
So, well, I've got, you know, you and Winston, you guys, I can tell you, we have 2 employees right there who are working because you can't lasso them in. It takes about a month to a month and a half to get them in because these guys are busy and girls are busy.
We are.
We appreciate that effort.
But that's a good thing.
Oh, it is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah.
So I thank you for your time.
Sure.
And you know that you're welcome anytime. And I want to, while you're here, I want to say thank you to your police department, fire department. You know, they come in quite often and share information with us about how to keep from burning your house down when it's 2 degrees, you know, and how to operate your heaters and what to do and what not to do.
Keep that water flowing in the pipes.
Keep that water flowing.
Yeah, no,
so
I agree.
don't worry about $10 more on your water bill.
That's a lot cheaper than 100, 200, 500 thousands of dollars of damage.
Get 2 feet out of water out of your house.
Yes, sir, that'd be tough.
Jason, thanks, buddy.
John, thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
Anything you need from
welcome
us,
anytime.
you let us know.
Anytime.
Okay, sure
man.
thing. Take care.
We'll be back after these messages.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country and the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back. I'm here today with Hope Nunley with the Chamber of Commerce. That's just the busiest woman I know. How are you doing, Hope?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm glad you came off the mountain to talk to us and tell us the work that you don't do.
Yes. No,
It's constant, I know.
Always happy to be here.
Right.
Thank you so very much. Yes, so we have a lot of exciting things happening. You know, January is always the start of a new year, and in my world, my boss changes every year, you know, so that can be fun. Of course, it's tough whenever you have to say goodbye to a great partner, somebody that you've worked with the previous year, but we've been so fortunate that we just go from one great president to the next great president, and so this year our president is James Fuller, and last year it was Nancy Fuller, but there's no relation.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes, very interesting. And of course, they will formally pass off the gavel at our annual membership celebration that will take place on Friday, February 7th.
That's coming up soon.
It's coming up very soon at the Coffee County Conference Center.
And you're encouraging people to go.
Oh, yes. No, please come celebrate with us. We have a lot to celebrate. And so again, that event takes place on Friday, February 7th, and the sponsors for that are First Bank, Vanderbilt, Tullahoma Heart and Hospital, and we're just so grateful for all that they do to support us.
I am telling you, we have the most wonderful sponsorships in this town. A lot of people give, and I really appreciate it.
And of their time, you know, so many people give their time as well, and so we're grateful for that too.
And the event will be at where?
At the conference center.
At the conference center. You always do it there, I think, most of the time.
The past 6 years we've been there.
Is it surviving good, the conference center? You know, for a while they were having problems, so I love it over there.
Yeah.
So
you know, everything that we see is very positive.
Good.
And so we really enjoy that working relationship that we have with Rebecca and her team, and they're always just great professionals.
They do a great job, yeah.
Yes,
they do.
Yes. Of course, if there were a space here, we'd love, you know, to entertain an option in Tullahoma too. But
I've always wished we had a venue in this town that was big enough.
We've just outgrown everything.
Yeah,
and
we have.
Yes. But again, just so excited to honor and celebrate. We'll hand out 10 awards that night. We have Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Citizen of the Year, and many others, and so I'm really excited.
That's wonderful. I know there's so many hard-working people in this town.
Oh, yes.
I mean, a lot that give their time, their energy, and their brains, and what all they can do to give, and I'm so glad they get honored. It means a lot.
We'll also reveal our 2025 Think Tullahoma magazine at that event. It'll be available for the first time at the celebration. and we will unveil the cover at our January Chamber Coffee, and that is going to take place next Tuesday, January 28th at Beechcraft Heritage Museum. It's a little bit of a favorite amongst the Chamber community.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of people say, oh, you know, that they enjoy all the coffees, but they enjoy going out to
Enjoy
Beechcraft.
going out there because there's so much to see.
Yes, with the airplanes, and then Good News Magazine will co-host with them, and we will unveil the cover of our 2025 magazine.
And so that's a secret so far, right?
So far, it's a secret.
So
And
that
I
will
think
be in the
everybody's-
paper, I suppose.
We would love for it to be in the paper. Mhm.
I hope it will,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely. And then we also we'll welcome a new team member in February as well. We will welcome a new marketing and membership director starting on February 3rd, and so very excited for everyone to get to know her
I'm
as well.
sure that you're excited to have
Oh, yes.
someone there to help.
Yes, yes.
Because there's a lot of marketing that has to be done.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yes. And really looking forward to welcoming a new team member. And of course, very grateful for Kathy and Kylie, who Kathy is our administrative assistant,
Yeah.
and Kylie is our work-based learning student from Tullahoma High School. And so
You have a great group.
Oh, yes, yes.
This new person you have coming in, is she local? Is she from somewhere else?
No, she's from the Tullahoma area.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready to
we're
go to
very-
work.
Yes, yeah, we're excited, very excited. And so, you know, we'll do a big introduction when she starts.
Good. So anything else coming up that you all are doing in the near future?
Well, we already have all of the year planned. And so, you know, we'll have our annual membership celebration in February, Taste of Tullahoma and the Business Expo in March. We'll have a golf tournament in April. May, we'll have Women Impacting the Community. Let's see here. And then in September, we will have 40 Under 40. October, another golf tournament. November, Wobble Gobble. And then December, the Christmas parade.
So you're not just twiddling your thumbs, are you?
No, no, no,
Always
no.
busy.
Yes.
What got you interested in doing what you're doing? And
well,
you're so good at it.
Thank you. I think that you have to love it, right? And it
I
has
think
to
so,
be
too.
genuine and sincere, because if I don't love it, I can't expect
You
anybody
can't make
else.
anybody else to love it.
Love it. So I started as a chamber ambassador in 2008, and I was a younger professional at that time who was looking to grow her network and meet people and get involved, and someone said, you should join the chamber. And so I did. I became a chamber ambassador in 2008. And then I was elected by my peers to be president of that group in 2012. I was elected to the board of directors in 2013, the executive board in 2015. And then when my predecessor announced her retirement, I thought, hey, what if I got paid for all that volunteer work
Yeah.
I've been doing? And so, and I still to this day remember the call when they told me that I got the job. And so.
And I'm very touched because you worked hard to get there.
I did.
You didn't just sit back and do nothing. And everybody out there that's wanting to get somewhere, they got to put in the hard work.
Oh, absolutely.
And it shows.
Yes.
You've done a great job here. We're
Thank
so fortunate to have the Chamber of Commerce work that you do. It's just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy it. And, you know, my husband says that I'm the only person he knows that genuinely loves their job. And so, and he just hasn't met everybody yet, but but I do love it.
It is important to love your job. I remember my father saying to me, and he was a farmer and he loved it. There's nothing else he would rather have done. And he said, whatever you do, Peggy, when you go to college, get a job doing what you love.
Yes.
So he wanted me to go ahead and do music. And so that's what I did, and then I always loved it.
Yes.
So it doesn't feel like work.
No, it
particularly.
doesn't. It doesn't. There are so many.
You can get tired from it.
Oh, definitely. We do have a great coffee maker at our office
Right.
to keep us fueled. But there are many, many, many days that I sit in whatever it is that we're doing that's really fun and involved, and I think, I can't believe that this is what I'm doing for work.
And you stay energized about it, and that's
Yes.
great.
Yes,
Okay,
I love it.
quickly again, the event coming up, to get tickets, what do they do?
You can visit tullahoma.org, or you can call the office and make your reservation, and we're happy to help with that.
And I guess you can just walk into the office and do that if you want
yes.
to.
But there are only a handful of tickets left, and so anybody who is
That's awesome.
hoping to attend, we hope you'll go ahead and secure those reservations. So
That's great. Well, I think even unless you have anything else you want to talk about, that we'll probably close this up.
Shop local.
Okay, shop local, everybody needs to remember that.
That's right.
It's so important. We have great people on the street and out in the community that
Yes.
have little businesses. Support it. We'll be back.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. 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 Woo.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back. I thought you might be in the mood for a little music from South Jackson Street Band. We're getting ready to do Valentine dinner dance on February 14th, which is Friday night this year at the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall in Bell Buckle, Tennessee. And they put out the most beautiful spread for dinner. You can't beat it. Anyway, tickets are on sale at the banquet hall. You can find it online and give them a call. We hope to see you there. I've brought a video of the band playing In the Mood, and we'll play that now.
This has been a Ron Hackett Music video production.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with disodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
People in Tennessee are starting a movement.
Ouch. Thank you.
To clean up the litter on our roadways. Litter hurts our environment and endangers wildlife, and it affects our quality of life.
Here, grab me.
Help keep our state litter-free.
Let's roll!
Visit NobodyTrashesTennessee.com and be a part of the solution to end littering.
Saving the best for last.
That's right. Nobody trashes Tennessee.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We're here for segment 78
Hot dog,
of the
we're conversation
conversation with
right
John
along,
and Pat.
And we've got a good little story for you today, but this song has nothing to do with it. It's
well, that'd be about par for the last 50 segments.
You know, the guy. Well, I think who his name is a minute before I finish this song up. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, oh Lord, and ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going and I ain't coming back. Yes, I'm going and I ain't coming back. I'm going and I ain't coming back, oh Lord, and ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the climate suits my clothes. I'm going where the climate suits my clothes. I'm going down where the climate suits my clothes, oh Lord, and ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going down that road feeling bad. Yes, I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, oh Lord, and ain't gonna be treated this way. And ain't gonna be treated this way. Did I miss a word there, Pat?
John, if you need to understand that there's a whole lot of ignorant music people such as me, that if you wouldn't snicker, nobody'd know what happened.
You know, Pat,
that's a good song.
And this is our 78th segment.
78th.
And you know, we don't practice.
And we're normally better when we don't.
Yeah.
We've had our worst times have been when we've spent a half hour getting ready to go.
We're going to talk about a place today that used to be in Tullahoma, and some of the children still live here, and there's still children living of this family, but Rico's Pizza. It was a iconic type place in Tullahoma, and years ago, a fella named Eddie Rabbit wrote a song about Rico's Pizza restaurant. And would you show Eddie Rabbit's picture? Some of you folks might have seen this gentleman. He was, I can't remember all his songs that he performed, but he was a great singer. But he did one called Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man. And supposedly this was about Rico's Pizza restaurant. And the restaurant was out on what street?
Davidson.
Davidson Street.
And we've had several discussions today.
Out where you might say Ferris's Mini Barns were, and then down
it's
that
past
street.
It. Yeah, it's behind it.
And
to
down
the side.
the street to
it's
Bruce's Automotive. And,
across the street from the Business Forum.
Squad 1.
Near Squad 1 in that area.
So it was really kind of off the beaten path, and I've been told...
There was a circle drive, I've been told, that led into it, and it was the only building or place of business on Davidson at that time. Now, there's 5 or 6 there now, but that was only one. And you mentioned that it was kind of dark. And,
I remember it being a lot of shadows,
yeah.
Maybe from street lights, from what, but it was just kind of a house, almost like in a neighborhood, and they made a nice restaurant out of it, which supported that family for many years. And the family members were Ray Jr., Teresa, Harry, Tony, Jeff, and the youngest was Lewis. And I got some of this information from Lewis because I knew where he was, and I was told that they served up some of the best pizza anywhere at that time. And I asked Lewis about the secret recipe. He said there was a secret recipe, and he said, we can't let that out of the family. And
yeah, kind of like Kentucky Fried.
That's right. Well, as I understand, when Camp Forest opened up, Joe Rico came from Chicago to visit a buddy at Camp Forest, and then along later comes son Ray, and Ray, they all lay down roots here, and in 1949 or 50, somewhere in that neighborhood, they buy that house over there, and then soon becomes a pizza place, and it was from like 1950 through, I've got down here somewhere, I won't be able to find it in my notes, 49, remodeled it in 67 because they had a fire there. And then Rico stayed in business till 1972 when Ray was diagnosed with cancer. But it was a real place. Read some of those lyrics from the Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man. Hey, you can find this on the internet. Anybody who can get on the internet, I can do it, so I suppose most of you
Well, if you YouTube Eddie Rabbit Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man, it'll come right up.
It will.
Yeah.
It will. Yeah. No problems at all. And I understand from the from some of the people that song by the ones who attend Eddie Rabbit concerts back in the day, of course he's passed away, that they asked for this song. They liked it so much. Go ahead and read those lyrics, Pat.
I'll do it. Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man takes a water dough and he plops it on the table, makes it flat and round and pours it in a ladle of tomato sauce, spreads it red, thick, and sweet. Takes a big fistful of mozzarella cheese, spreads it around with anchovies, green peppers and onions and mushrooms and a little ground beef. Then he puts it on the shelf and then shoves it in the oven with tender, loving care. He dances around while our tongues hang out and the smell of heaven fills the air. Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man, make me the juiciest pizza in the land. Hey, I'm no penny pincher, give me that big 16-incher. Whoa, make it go, Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man. Tullahoma Dancing Pizza Man.
Ain't that something?
It's magnificent. Magnificent is what it is.
Philip, pull up that other picture about this is a rock and roll group that my brother played in. And second from the right is a fellow named Lee Garner. He's actually from Illinois, but he was lead guitar player for Eddie Rabbitt. And he was the one that told me that the people who followed Eddie Rabbitt that song was requested many times. My brother is fourth from the left. He's sitting in a chair. He's got a mustache and long hair or hat on or something there, but he looks a little different today.
He's like me, John. He wishes he had that hair back.
That group was called The Man, and they played over at MTSU. And Jimmy was in several bands. When one failed, he just, they renamed them another name. That boy, by the way, Lee Garner, he's retired and he lives in Illinois. And so, anyway, my brother stays in contact with him. But that is a story about the Tullahoma Pizza Man and about Rico's Pizza.
Now, we always find a way normally work sports into just about every discussion. One of the Rico boys, was it Harry or Ray Jr., played for Coach Cooper in the mid-'60s.
That would have been Ray Jr., I bet.
Okay. I'm telling you what, he had been into pizza because he was a big boy, and he had calves that looked about the size of my waist. He was a really big guy. Yeah.
I understand, too, that Betty Rico, Ray's wife, she died in 2013, and they met at the Old East Stadium over there.
At Old Wade Field?
Old Wade Field.
Wow.
So a lot of history there, and it was good talking about. We want to say a big howdy to those children still of the Ricos, and hope we did a good job for you on telling about that. Teresa, Harry, Tony, Jeff, and Lewis, and Ray Jr. So
great story, and a great 78 segment, John. A great one.
Hot dog.
But that's not the last story we have. If management will let us continue, we'll be here. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Serving you as a local firefighter. Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force. Serving Tullahoma. Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free Take me down to the river and walk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. John Gray here, and I'm so proud today to have a wonderful young man in the studio with us, Darius Wallace, and he is in Tullahoma to do the poetry of Langston Hughes tonight at South Jackson Civic Center. He was here, what, a year ago?
Yes,
to
about a
do
year ago.
Frederick Douglass.
That's right.
And
That's right.
one of our wonderful statesmen.
Yes.
From time back in history, and
That's right.
and Langston Hughes is another one of those magical people.
Yes.
Who taught so much through his poetry.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Darius is from Memphis.
Well, I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, but I live in Memphis.
Live in Memphis
My wife
now.
and kids, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
and you travel around and you are a creative individual who makes
Oh,
your
yes.
living on stage.
That's right. Mainly.
And mainly,
Yes,
and
that's right.
you also write.
I write.
You also do some screenplay
I do
work.
screenplay and some screen acting, but mainly it's stage these days. And I'm starting to do films more and more. I just wrapped on a film that's a horror called It Knows last Saturday. And I'll be in another film called Dysphoria that starts shooting at the end of the month, where I play a hard, compassionate but hard-nosed sheriff. So,
Really?
So I do film, but
How do you enjoy that versus stage
I love
work?
it. I love it. I love both. It used to be a time when I would say I love movies or camera acting better than stage, and then there were times when I would say I love stage better than movies. But nowadays, I've found something special in both. They both satisfy something for me and gives me satisfaction in inspiring the audience, because that's really what I'm all about. And there's something within film acting and being able to see something on screen or on the small screen that can be just as powerful and also too when you're doing live performing, where the audience is right there because the interaction is happening immediately.
And you're sucking that energy.
That's right. That's right. And it really it's about. I think I drew satisfaction from both equally when I discovered that I'm a storyteller, and that I love stories, and that I love telling stories. I love hearing stories, and there's a tremendous amount of power in stories. And I think it's because of that I find satisfaction in both.
Right, right. And so, Flint, Michigan.
Yes.
What in the world happens in Flint, Michigan to set young Darius Wallace on the course that's led you to where you are right now, sitting in a chair with me in Tullahoma, Tennessee, talking about performance?
Diamonds in the rough. I think in every city, in every country, and I want to use the example of third world countries and cities where there's a lot of crime and what have you, that there are diamonds there. There are diamonds in the rough. Rural areas that are forgotten about, like here in Tullahoma, there are diamonds in the rough. And I was a diamond in the rough because I've been this size since I was 13 years old. I've had this voice since I was 13 years old. I had a sideburns, hair on my face at 13 years old. I looked like I was 19. And I'm a martial artist. And kids during that time knew that. And there was a street gang called the Top Dogs. And because I'm this size at 13, and because I'm in martial art, I was a prime candidate for that street gang. And I was on my way to being initiated. Matter of fact, I was being initiated into that gang when I got in trouble with Mr. Bronson, who I had the privilege of reaching after all these years back in September when I was in Flint. I did a performance, a show in Flint. I was able to call Mr. Bronson and thank him, because Mr. Bronson, when I was 13 years old, the last day of school, he gave me an ultimatum. He says, you can either do what I know you love to do, which is be in drama, or you can go this route and end up in juvenile or jail. And I'm going to tell your father. Or dead. And I'm going to tell your father, which I could accept dead. I could accept juvenile jail, but please don't tell my father. Okay, if you remember Good Times, my father is James Evans. Okay, and so I was fortunate in that moment to make the decision, the choice. You know, there's always that choice that we have. There's always that crossroads to choose drama. And theater took me out of that life And I remember after doing my first lead role, walking home from school, I was in high school at this point, freshman year, a car slowly pulled up. Cars rolled down. It's like a typical movie, urban movie where something bad's about to happen. And it was folks from that gang. They told me to get in the car. Of course, what am I going to do? I got in the car and they said, "We saw the show and we're really proud of what you're doing. We don't want you to go this route. You do what you love to do." And they let me out of the car and never saw them again.
Wow.
And what
a great story.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys, some died, some were killed, some went to prison, others made it out also. And it was just a very powerful thing. So my point is diamonds in the rough. They're diamonds there. All those guys are diamonds also in the rough. They were all of us are. We all are diamonds in the rough. And so in Flint is where my theater teacher, Mr. Jennings, Martin Jennings, saw something special in me. As I was telling the kids at the show this morning, when I was their age, I was too afraid to stand up in front of people because I would forget all my lines. But there was a man, Mr. Jennings, who was a theater teacher who's still there teaching theater. Still there, I was able to
Isn't that great?
I was able to sit in his class when I was there, and it just felt like I was, and he's the same guy, same the way he teaches now, is the way he taught way back in the early 80s. And he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he pulled it out. And it was the pulling out of that enabled me to go to places that I never thought I would see. And so that's what Flint is, and it still is that. There's Flint has having its issues, but there's also some great things that are happening in the city where the city is turning around, but it still has a long way to go.
Well, and you've spent some time recently up there fighting the battle on trying to find enough potable water for people to survive.
That's right, and there's still a lot of issues with that there, but they have water filters now everywhere. So they've been handing out water filters as well as water.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. So if there's anybody out there that wants to donate, there are a number of agencies and entities to get in touch with in Flint to be able to also donate filters, or money toward water filters.
Very good.
Yeah.
So one thing that's impressed me, well, there's many things impressed me about you. Number one, you say, how did he know? When he heard that voice, he had to know. Mm-hmm. There was something special going on there if you're a drama teacher.
Right.
And a 13-year-old has that voice.
Right.
There's something there.
Yes.
But what impresses me so is how you embrace your culture.
Mm-hmm.
And how you share your culture. And I've told many people that the show you did, Frederick Douglass, is probably, and I've been going to South Jackson Civic Center for a long time, probably the most impressive show I've ever seen there.
I appreciate that.
And it made me think about things. You make me think about things in a way that I normally don't think about them. And that we all need to be pushed along a path a little bit every now and then.
Sure.
And you do that in such a gentle way and using the material that is so profound and how you present it is spectacular.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And so along the way, along the path, you know, how have you, Darius, continued to grow and learn in your craft? Are there certain things that you've done to help you mature in your craft?
Oh, yes. I believe that this art form of acting is a lifetime of learning. And so I'm always open and searching for new ideas and putting myself back into class, putting myself back under a teacher or an instructor, which I do to this day, always seeking and learning on what can I do to be better. I'm fortunate to be a part of the Tennessee Shakespeare Company. And the Tennessee Shakespeare Company is funny because the founder of it, Dan McClary, comes from out of this acting technique. It's really a voice technique called Linkletter. And it's a very special acting technique that fits classical theater well. which would include Shakespeare, but his wife, who is Stephanie Shine, who was the artistic director of Seattle Shakespeare. They married, and she comes from a different vocal technique called Lessig. And so the two are married, and I'm fortunate to get the benefit of that.
Both
sides, yeah. And there are other things too that you learn in performing Shakespeare and working with Tennessee Shakespeare. But not only is it a professional acting company, but it's also like a school, because in the rehearsals you're constantly learning new things about yourself and new things about the art of acting. So I'm fortunate to be a part of that theater company. But just in general, I'm constantly seeking, constantly learning. My agent, her husband is a major acting teacher in New York. And so if I send in an audition that doesn't look as good as she wants it to look, she will get on my case. She will. She's New York, so she doesn't pull any punches. So Meg, you're gonna see this, and I want you to know I'm telling the whole world you don't pull any punches. But she will let me know and make me do it over again. Right. So she treats me also not only as her someone that she promotes, to the television and film world, but she also understands acting, and she wants to make sure I hit the mark. So I'm a student.
Well, I think personally that the internet and Facebook and YouTube have driven us to accept sometimes things that are less than perfect or less than good because they're funny. Because the baby's dancing or the dog's jumping or something. Yeah. But I think we as a society right now give up too quickly, and it's too easy to say that's good enough when it's really not good enough.
Yeah, you're so right about that. You're so right about that. Yeah, it's technology. One thing it's done for us is that a lot of times we hesitate when we want to live our passion and want to live our dream. And one thing that technology has done for us is gives us an opportunity immediately to get involved, which I think is really important. Because a lot of times we wait for all the lights to be green before we go.
They're never all green.
And sometimes we need to shoot first, aim later when it comes down. So technology gives that to us. But on the flip side, you're right, it also promotes mediocrity, and if you allow for it to, it can lower the standard of excellence. And so I think it's really important to, even though you have all that out there, to continually seek for those works of art, those stories, those techniques that elevate you as a singer, as an actor, as a writer, as a producer, as a musician, that you continue to strive for excellence and to not allow for yourself to be dumbed down to the point where your art and your passion is dumbed down.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so with that said, to me, that's a perfect segue to talk about another side of your life.
Yes.
And the other side of your life is you are finding it interesting and enjoyable and noteworthy to speak publicly to young people, young entrepreneurs, and young people on the power of public speaking.
Oh, yes.
And how to sell oneself in a positive manner in the marketplace.
That's right. I started a business called SoloSpire. SoloSpire is a business dedicated to the inspiration of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. What is a solopreneur? A solopreneur is someone that is an independent contractor. You're working for yourself, but it's just you. And the power in that is, a lot of times when we do that, we still kind of see ourselves as an employee, and we don't organize like we're entrepreneurs. But when we organize like we're entrepreneurs, we're able to grow our idea. Whether we're an artist, whether we're a realtor or outside salesperson, when you see yourself as a solopreneur, you're going to organize your life like a business, and you're going to see how you can cause your business to grow. And one of the ways that you cause your business to grow is through the art of public speaking. And so I go out and speak and inspire in that respect, but then I also teach you how to speak and inspire as it relates to your mission, your passion, your calling, and what your business is.
Right.
And so I love to do that. I love to coach. I work with commercial real estate realtors. Also, I've worked with executives at production companies. I've worked with financial advisors, and I've worked with sales reps. I've worked with teachers on how to increase their ability to public speak, and not only just giving speeches, but also utilizing the power of story to make their presentations even more powerful. So I do group presentations. I help you deal with groups, but I also help you deal with one-on-one, where you learn simple things like what I'm doing with you right now. We're making contact in our right eye, if you notice. The reason why that's important is because the right eye is connected to our left brain. Our left brain is the analytical side. It's the side that we feel the most comfortable with because it's our public side.
Right.
And so we have that in common. So we build rapport looking at each other right out. However, if I switch and start looking into your left eye, that's uncomfortable. Why? Because the left eye is connected to the right side of your brain. That's your private side. That's your singing in the shower side. Right. That's the thing you don't want people to see. So eye contact is really powerful, but a lot of times when we're making eyes, which eye do I look at? Well, it's the right eye for the most part that you want to look at. The other thing that I'm doing, if you look at my body and look at your body, what do you see?
We both have our hands in front.
Yep, I'm mirroring you, and not necessarily on purpose, but this is what we do as human beings. When you mirror the person that you're communicating to, it also creates instant rapport because you have something in common. So I teach that when it comes down to one-on-one presentations, when you're speaking with someone one-on-one. There are these little things that you can do to help build rapport and make that connection. I told you a story.
Yep. Sure did.
Because what happens is when I tell you that story, you see it in your own mind and you experience it with me. You also refer to your own life to see what happened in your life that was similar. So stories are really powerful when you're doing the one-on-one or when you're doing group presentations. And there are other things that I teach that can help empower you to deal with body language, facial expressions, vocal inflection.
Sure. Well, how does someone, I mean, not that we're doing an advertisement here,
sure.
But how does someone get in touch with you, Darius, if they want to find out about you and call you or have you come to their convention or their office meeting or just one-on-one?
Sure.
How do they find you?
They can reach me via email. Right now it's phildwallace@yahoo.com.
Phil?
P-H-I-L.
Okay.
D. Wallace@yahoo.com.
Okay.
My full name is Phil Darius Wallace.
Right.
But my stage name is Darius Wallace. So my email is phildwallace@yahoo.com. And they will, in the next couple of days, be able to go to the website, which is solospire.com.
Solospire,
one word.com. Or they can call me 901-262-0126, and I speak to associations, corporations, events, schools.
Well, that's wonderful.
And also coach and train. So.
And folks, let me tell you what, just spending some time with this guy is enlightening. just to feel the energy that this young man radiates, full of life and full of fun and full of good stuff.
Thank you.
It's great to be around you. Now tonight at South Jackson, that's going to be a show where he's going to be reading the poetry of Langston Hughes, which is one of those icons in your culture.
Yes.
Who speaks in common words to people about common things and describes life so beautifully.
Oh, yes.
And I know you'll do a fantastic job with that. That's at 7 o'clock at South Jackson Civic Center. Of course, that's tonight, so most of you people won't know that. It won't make any difference. It'll all be over with, but we'll know it because we'll be there and have an opportunity to see this young man transform an empty stage into a theater of life through his words and his actions, and phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
My friend, thank you so much for being with us today, and know that you're always welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
They used to have a...
All right, we're back, and we've got about a minute and 10 seconds here to clear up. Darius Wallace, excuse me. Great young man.
He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
by the way,
he's.
when he came.
We'll
I love
find
him.
the Douglas film.
And show it another
Yeah,
time.
I'll show it another time. But band, South Jackson Band.
Yeah, at the Valentine dance, there will be a dance class that's part of the deal with your ticket if you want to meet at 6 o'clock by Tim Taylor, who is a professional ballroom dancer, and he does a great job. Anyway, that will be part of the evening, and there will be dinner and dancing and fun things.
Bell Buckle Banquet Hall.
I
It
know.
doesn't get any better than
They don't
that.
get
The
any
food,
better. They do a great
The food will
job.
be outstanding. Hey, one thing we want to do is tell all of you, we got a couple of more days now. Cold weather. Be safe out there. Keep your water dripping. Keep the heat on.
Don't cling to a metal pole.
Don't lick a light pole or a flag pole. All right, we'll see you.